What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Midnight Manor at Fantastic Fest 2025. Jalmari, I'm so excited to be revisiting Sisu with you. When you came in, I remembered. It's one of my favorite interviews from TIFF 2019. You were there with the first movie, and I didn't even know what I was in for. And that movie blew me away. And now I can confirm you've done it 2 times over. Congratulations on the sequel.
Thank you so much.
So before we dig into your movie, just some fun genre questions we've been throwing to all the guests coming through. If you had the opportunity to jump into the horror film franchise of your choice and direct a new installment of that franchise, what franchise would you pick and why?
I actually wouldn't do a horror film because I get too scared of what's going on in my head. I have a couple of horror movie ideas, but I probably would traumatize myself and somehow get fucked up even worse in my head. So I don't dare to go there.
I want you to be in a safe space, but given how much I love your films and the fact that you've been thinking about horror movies makes me want to encourage you to make them.
Yeah, but they are too horrifying.
I'll broaden it a little bit for this next question here, but can you just name a recent genre film that you saw that inspired you? Something that inspires you that maybe you'll back pocket for a future film of your own?
Sinners, probably.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, and also a great example of like a writer-director film, so that you can actually feel the difference that someone has had this vision of doing something cool and no one has stopped him. I think that's cool.
Without a doubt. I consistently call this a manifestation space, and the thing that I want to speak into existence is more genre represented at the Academy Awards. So right now I am very actively rooting for that movie to go all the way.
Okay.
So your movie now, I want to go back to the very beginning with the sequel. Can you kind of walk me through what you were thinking after you wrapped the first Sisu? At that point, did you know there was more story to tell, or is that something that came up along the way as the movie was released and embraced by fans?
I'm not sure did it happen right after the shooting, but somewhere down the line when I was editing, because I started to realize that this probably will be as good as I hoped it will, and so I thought it might be cool to do some more of this, and so I had a couple of ideas how to do it, but then I decided not to. Like yesterday I explained it, but when I finally got the idea of Atami going to take his house back, that like really made me do it.
It's a brilliant idea. I just vividly remember hearing that you were making a sequel and thinking to myself, like, how can you come up with another concept that is so incredibly effective yet simple? And you've done it with the house idea. There were a couple other things you just brought up that I wanted to follow up on. You mentioned that I believe during the edit process of the first film, you hit a point where you realized, like, this is going to work. It's going to be good. I'm just curious, what was that point in the process?
Well, it was my favorite point, which is a knife to the head.
Yes.
Because when I saw that edited, I was like, okay, this is it.
Can you tell me a little bit now about coming up with this idea of him moving his house? What was maybe idea number 1, the way that looked to you when the idea first popped into your head, and how does that compare to how the story evolved into the finished film that everyone's going to see now?
Well, it basically it was like a struck of a lightning in a way, because I was renovating my own house, and I suddenly, for some reason, I was thinking, like, I don't remember how it happened, but when it happened, I like immediately knew that what's going to happen in this film. Like it was so fast that when I first called to the producer, Perri, that now I know what's going to fucking happen in this film. And he was like, okay, that sounds cool. And it was so fast process after that.
I was reading a little bit about your producer in the press notes. Can you maybe tell me a little bit more about how he supports you, how he not only helped you get this sequel made, but made the way you wanted that felt truthful to you?
Yeah, we are like business partners, being a long way back from Rare Exports. Um, so we know each other really well, and he really uh, lets me do what I do, like, and doesn't want anyone to interfere with that, which I like a lot because I'm not good of if somebody has like different opinions of things.
I think you have very good ideas, but maybe to emphasize some of the team around you on this movie, can you maybe tell me something that, a department head or anybody on this production brought to the table that surprised even you and you embraced it and now we see in the finished film?
There are a lot of ideas from everyone. Um, what would be like a good example of that? But what I'm constantly surprised is Jorma himself, like how good of an actor he is. Because I get fucking shocked sometimes, like, okay, here we go again. Like, oh, that's so cool. And especially when we were shooting the scene where he's walking in his house, has all the memories of everything. Everyone was fucking crying, even the Steadicam operator, like, because it was very long, one take, which we edited in the pieces, but it was like really, really, really emotional.
A lot of this movie was shockingly emotional. Like it's like an absolute blast, one wild action set piece after the next. I was surprised by how many tears you earned in the sequel. I was very impressed
Yeah,
by it.
yeah, me too. I'm really happy that it worked because it's a weird combo, to be honest.
I honestly I wasn't quite prepared for it, and I
Yeah,
loved it.
yeah, especially the ending. I love it.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will just emphasize to our audiences that this movie has a brilliant ending. I loved it. Can you tell me a little bit about telling him that you wanted him to play this character again? Because I remember during our TIFF conversation, you kept emphasizing how like you really put him through it in that first film. So was
Yeah.
he ready to jump on board the second you said sequel?
Yes, he was, especially when he had the idea of what he's gonna do. Uh, he really wanted to do it, and it is funny, like if you start to look at it, like how, because he was in a really fucking good shape when we started, but we basically did it quite chronologically the whole film. But he's the guy who when we are not shooting, like he's not going to any trailer or fucking sleep or anything. He's doing push-ups and lifting sandbags the whole time, like, and in the end, when we actually see him coming out of the train and putting the hair back with his blood, you can start to see like his muscles are even bigger in the end because he's been working out the whole fucking time.
I would 1000% believe that. I remember you telling me with the first movie, he said he was in, he wanted to do it, but the one thing you had to give him was he wanted to wear a jacket the whole time. So it was making me wonder, did he have any like musts for the sequel, things you had to give him in order to jump in and do it again?
Uh, we had a conversation about them, but you saw how his back looked after the torturing scene,
Yeah.
and that was like a makeup that takes a shit ton of time to do. So we agreed in the end that, because I was thinking he's gonna be fucking naked the whole train sequence to the end, but because his shooting days were so long with the makeup time, so we decided that he's gonna wear some clothes like afterwards, because it would be too hard to do.
I very much understand that. And when we do see it, it looks phenomenal. Veering into some of the set pieces now, can you tell me the single set piece from the first movie that was the most difficult to execute? And then tell me how it compares to the set piece from film two that was the most difficult to make happen.
But probably we had so much problems with the horse
Uh,
in the first one, that's only that I can think of, because it was just like pure madness with the horse every time, like so weird things happening. But in the second one, the hardest, well, it's what would be the hardest? Well, everything that involves the dog also always, but
Dog.
I really don't like shooting at animals because they basically don't do what I want them to do. Uh, so, but the Motor Mayhem
Oh, it's so good.
sequence, that was like really slow filmmaking. Like you prepared something the whole day and then you basically got like one or two takes on a day. So it asks a lot of patience, which I don't have. So that's I didn't like that.
Might not have liked it, but it came out phenomenal in the end because I love highlighting, the creativity, ingenuity, and movie magic that goes into all of this. Can you single out something in the sequel that might make a viewer go, I cannot believe that's what it takes on set to make it look like that on screen in the finished product?
What would be like a mm, like to say something intelligent now, but nothing comes to my mind. But everything is so hard to do, basically, uh, especially when you are constantly like moving. With everything is moving, cameras are moving, cars, motorcycles, whatever you have, everything is moving. So it's really hard to do.
Every single ounce of this movie looks hard, which is why I had to ask a bunch of these questions. Another thing that seems really hard to me is finding the right actor to go up against Yorma in this movie. And like I've seen Stephen Lang in a million things, and I have a lot of faith in him. But can you maybe tell me at what point, either in prep or on set, did you look at the two of them together and go to yourself like yes, this is the foe he needs to up his game in this movie?
That's easy to say because when we rehearsed the speech he gives to Atami in the train car, basically saying what he did to his family. Uh, I really felt it. It was like that. That was that. I think it's a really cool scene, and a really fucking bad mistake to tell something like that to Atami. Because I was laughing yesterday when we were watching the film here, uh, because I felt the audience going like, "Yeah, you did a mistake right there. Like this is not gonna end well for you."
Nope. And many, many other people over the course of this film. Listen, I always feel bad asking a question like this when technically a movie hasn't even been released yet, but
Mm.
clearly I'm a big fan of your work. I'm an especially big fan of these Sisu films, and I have to know, are you walking away from filming and premiering Sisu 2 with the itch to make a third one?
I have an idea what to do with it. Uh, Not sure am I gonna do it, but uh, never say never. I don't know.
I will take that answer. I like the fact that at least the wheels are a turning. I want you to do whatever you want to do. I do know there is something coming up for you that a lot of people are very, very excited about. You're directing John Rambo, and again, I'm a big fan. Anything you sign up for immediately goes at the top of my must-watch list, and I'm really curious about your approach to tackling a very popular franchise. I'll give you a big two-part question about that. Can you tell me something about the previous films? Why everyone loves that franchise so much that you hope to hold tight to and honor, but also something uniquely you that you hope to bring to that franchise to broaden it a little more?
Yeah, that's a big question. I could talk like a whole day about this, but um, like what First Blood did to me when I was 10 years old or something, it 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 basically changed my life. I was so uh, I was playing Rambo every fucking day, being in a forest with my Rambo knife and doing it basically even now, and so But what I realized with the style of what's my tone of making a Rambo film, that was the biggest question for me, and it opened up to me when I started to watch all the Rambo films with my son, who's like 11 now, um, and I saw him. At first, he was like, "I don't want to watch this shit," and but when we started First Blood, he was like, "Oh." And I saw the things he liked, which were exactly the same things what I loved when I was a kid, and when we go forward with Rambo 2, Rambo 3, and basically in the fourth one, my son said, "I don't want to watch this anymore. This is not cool anymore," and because it goes so dark, like basically the bad guy is raping children and stuff there, so. The magic wasn't there anymore, and especially the last one, that's so dark, too dark for me. So I'm trying to make a Rambo movie that will put a new generation of 10-year-olds to the forest playing Rambo. That's my goal.
I love that answer. I'll squeeze in just one more question about that because I'm a big fan of Noah, and clearly I love your collaboration with Jorma on these movies. And the answer to this question might be no, but I am curious, do you see any, I guess, shared qualities between the two of them as actors? Things that signal to you they'll be good creative partners for me, but also be able to go to like the next level with the types of action sequences that I like to craft?
Well, they have charisma, and when I'm watching Noah, just sitting somewhere, like not doing anything important, I can feel that there is something in him, like Jorma has, that he's easy to watch in a way that that most people are not. That they look good on a camera, and you either have it or you don't. So that's common, at least.
Can confirm both of them. Natural screen presence through the roof. I cannot wait to see what you do with him. But in the meantime, I'm so happy to have Sisu 2,
Yeah, me too.
Road to Revenge. Dude, it really is something special to have made a first movie that pops so big and is so exceptional with its simplicity, but be able to do it again a couple years later. Really, congratulations. What a feat.
Thank you.